getting ready to leave for a trip, and this is the face of someone who is ready to go with us. Are you ready to go, Soph? Oh, yeah?
She's guarding the walkway to get out, making sure we don't leave her. She gets so upset when we pack up. She's
Are we ready to go? Show me the way. Is that the way? Is that the way to go? Alright. Good girl. What do you think, Soph? Is this how we travel? Is this, are you ready to get in? Are you? Are you ready to get in? Huh? Somebody is always ready to travel. Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode. We are on our way to the Cumberland River. There's a whole set of canals and locks and things that we're going to go to and explore that is unique, I guess you could say. And we're going to go and have a look at it and take you along. And also there's a nice town nearby called Frederick, which we're going to explore. We've been there before, although we haven't done a video on it yet. And the town itself, they've redone a lot of the center, and the riverbank that goes through the middle of town has been done really nicely. So we're going to kind of show you all that as well, and hopefully go for a few hikes in that area. We may, if we get really motivated, we may even go to Harper's Ferry and have a look around there. It's a very historic section of our country. But anyway, whichever way it turns out, we'll take you along. We're once again crossing the Bay Bridge on our way. A few boats out there, but it's not too busy. There's a lot of shipping out here to the left, but not a lot of other boats out in the bay. There's a lot of big cargo ships and tankers and things out there. But we seem to cross the Bay Bridge a lot of our trips when we're heading west or heading south. As you can see from season to season, trip to trip, even how things differ out on the bay and how busy or empty the bay is at any one given period of time. But Kelly's just going to pan to the right there, and you're going to see that there's not a whole lot out there at all on the bay today, even though it's a nice day. But the way it is. So we are heading off to find some coffee. We got close to here, and we realized we've reached our destination, but we don't have coffee. And while that's not so much of an issue for me because I don't drink coffee, that's a pretty big issue for Kelly. So we're going to go and try and find a store somewhere now and find some coffee. It is almost 7 o'clock, and we're probably close to a half hour from the nearest store. We'll see. So we'll see what we can find and alleviate this catastrophe in the making. So our crisis was averted. What did we find, Kelly? We found
Sumatra dark roast, organic.
All right.
I like the Sumatra. I like the strong stuff. No sissy coffee for this girl.
So crisis has been averted. We found some coffee. She'll be able to survive in the morning. It's all good. And we are all set now, including this one, ready for tucking ourselves into bed just about. And ready for hopefully a nice walk in the morning with a bit of early morning sun, because this one didn't get a walk tonight. We kind of were around but didn't walk. So she will definitely want that in the morning. Won't you, so? Yeah, you're a good girl. Alright, we'll see you in the morning. Is it morning coffee time? Aren't you glad we got that coffee last night?
I'm so happy.
Alright, turn the inverter on.
now you can talk to me.
So this is where we parked last night, right by the river here. And this is I think it's the Cumberland River. I'll double check that. I think it's the Cumberland River. But this is also where, just up the hill here, the C&O canal system is. And there's a lock up here, which I'll show you in just a second. They had a series of locks with this canal that allowed people to ship this river, because otherwise it's too shallow. Like that river behind I just showed is like a foot and a half deep. Like it's not really deep enough to put boats on and haul cargo and stuff. So they built the canal system to allow that to happen. I'm gonna show you the lock and the lock house that went with it here in a second. But also, just a bit further down the road, we're gonna walk to the aqueduct. They actually built bridges and aqueducts and things as well. So there's Miss Kelly up there in the distance. She's had her coffee. She's all energetic now. But we're gonna go for this walk. So this is lock 29 on the C&O canal system. The lock's obviously no longer in use, and the water's been diverted. And this is the lock keeper's house. It's actually manned by the last lock keeper, even though the canals closed, I think, in 1924. The last lock keeper lived there until his death in 1962, I believe. Sign over here that Kelly is reading. It's really interesting. And the engineering that went into all this was pretty incredible as well. So, Kelly has a bit of a personal connection to all this as well. Don't you, Kelly?
I do. My grandfather was a lock keeper, and I remember visiting him. He lived in Syracuse, New York, and right behind his house was the channel. But back then you had to be on site and you have the key and unlock it. But that was his whole life. Visited it a few years ago, and we're hoping to go visit it again. I want Josh to see it. I think it's 57, the lock.
Lock 57 from the New York canals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
But I have to verify that.
Yeah.
But.
So this is the sign here about lock keepers. And that was the last lock keeper. Interesting life. The whole canal system here is pretty interesting. We're going to go down and show you the aqueduct now, but it's a nice walk as well. So this is the aqueduct that Kelly's walking across here now. So the creek goes underneath it. It's kind of a bridge, but as a bridge it actually had water going with it across as well, which is obviously what an aqueduct is. And this here was the canal, and that went across with water in it, and then up the canal system from there. And what we're on here, what we're walking on, is actually called the towpath. And the towpath is where the horses or mules would go, and they actually pulled the barges full of gear, and so they pulled right along beside the canal here, even across the bridge, this aqueduct, and that's the way that the goods were moved, was by the barge. And there in the background you can actually see there's a railroad bridge, and the railroads would actually put the canal system out of business in the 1920s because it could move a greater weight of goods and things a lot faster and more efficient. Alright, so we are in Frederick, and we've left the C&O Canal and come to a town nearby called Frederick, and we came here so that we could get some work done this afternoon. However, we thought this morning we'd take you for a little tour of downtown Frederick. There's a river that runs through it, which we're walking beside now, and as you can see, they have redeveloped the whole riverfront, the whole way through the city, with a nice walkway, and there's restaurants and cafes. They've done a really good job, so we thought we would show that to you, including all these sculptures here as we go past. But we thought we'd show that to you as we walk here through the city and give you a taste of Frederick. It's actually well worth a visit if you're ever out this way in Western Maryland, and worth stopping in, even just to walk this river and to see this old downtown area. It's just a nice spot. So we're gonna walk along this river, And we're going to end at a thing called a carillon, which, if you don't know, is an actual musical instrument. It's probably one of the biggest musical instruments in the world. So we'll show you that at the other end. Okay, so this is the carillon. It's a musical instrument, I think, with bells, and evidently there's only a few people who even know how to play these things. There's only a few of them around the world. I only know this because where I lived in Canberra in Australia, they had one of these on the main lake in the center of the city, and yeah, they used to get people in from all over the world to try and play it because there was so few people who knew how. We'll see if we can get up here at the base of it and see if there's some sort of an information thing that tells us a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that, but this is the only information we've got on it. That was erected in memory of this guy, Joseph Baker. And then part of the park here. But this is a big structure. It's a very big musical instrument. So this is a view of the backside of that carillon. Interesting, just here in the park. It's a nice little counterpoint to this otherwise park that is very much sport oriented, baseball diamonds and the like. So yeah, interesting to have a musical instrument in the middle of it. So here we are back from our little stroll through the center of Frederick. We're going to hit a little bakery we know of up here, get a little something to eat, and then we're going to find a nice spot by the park and probably work for the afternoon. But we'll show you the spot. It's beautiful. I think we've been there before once, and it's a nice, cozy, safe little spot. Again, in the center of a town, you can find them anywhere. You know, we can feel safe. We can feel comfortable. In any town, within 5 minutes, you can find a spot if you know what you're doing. It's not that difficult. So we're going to go and do that and relax and let this one cool down a bit. She's hot from being in the sun and doing all the walking, and quite frankly, so are we. So we'll catch you there. So we spent the afternoon at the park and got a lot of work done. We probably worked from about noon till 5 or so, and then we decided to go and find some privacy to have a shower. So we drove back down towards the canal. We were in Frederick, and well, long story short, after some closed roads and detours, we eventually got to kind of where we wanted to go. It wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but we made do. We had our showers, and We're back. We're back at the same park we were in earlier, even though it was probably a couple of hours ago when we left. But we're back. We're just having a little bit of dinner, bit of cottage cheese and with honey and blueberries, and then we're just going to crash for the night. It's been a long day. We've got a lot done this afternoon, a lot of work done, but we'll get up early in the morning and go for a nice walk here in this park, and hopefully it won't be raining. We'll have a nice weather for it and a good sunrise to show you. So we'll see you then. So, making some breakfast. Kelly's had her coffee. I just got back from walking Sophie. It's breakfast time. I have a breakfast that's probably a little bit unusual for most people. That is liquid, but not in the traditional liquid way. It's not coffee. I don't drink coffee. So I make a shake, and I start with 4 eggs. Yes, I have raw eggs. That's just the way it is. I'll start with 4 raw eggs. Then I add some AG1. No, we're not sponsored by AG1, but this is a powder that has vitamins and antioxidants, adaptogens, and probiotics and prebiotics, and a mushroom complex. All that kind of rolled into one. So I put that in there. But you know, AG1, if you're watching, we'll take a sponsorship. But not sponsored. It's just what we do. Sealed, that's going to be kept in the fridge. Back in the fridge it goes. Then the protein in. Now, technically, AG1 is supposed to be mixed with water for the best results. I never do it that way. I always mix it with protein in my eggs and milk for my shake. So, just put protein in there. Milk, and we mix it. It comes out to be a nice tasting, very nutritious, and very filling breakfast. I have this at home, I have it here when we're on the road. Just what I do. Blender. Kelly's already got the power on for making her coffee. So, let's plug in. Mix. Just like that, we have breakfast. Contrary to what some people are worried about, I have never gotten sick from eating the raw eggs. I'm pretty careful. We use organic eggs and pretty careful about how we keep them in the source and all that, but we're always good. So, cheers. Yum. And so while I'm having breakfast, Soph's had hers, so she's quite happy and content here to relax now that she's had her walk. We had a long walk for about an hour. And Kelly's just having a relaxing morning there, reading the Bible and drinking her coffee. Alright, so we're heading to the bakery here on the corner, getting something to eat, and then going to head to the coffee shop, because the bakery has stuff that's 10 times better than the coffee shop. So we're going to go in and have a look. Kelly, what do you want? Same thing as yesterday? Same thing as yesterday? Yeah? Okay. What's this stuff? Hi.
How can I help
Over
you?
here. Oh, just trying to narrow it down. I think I might have a slice of this cake. Is this mascarpone cake? And then one of those cream slices next to it as well, please. Sophie. Me.
That was fast.
Oh yeah. We knew what we wanted. Well, that wasn't hard. That makes it really easy when you know what you want. All right. It's a bit noisy, but we're walking down here to the coffee shop. There's also a tea shop down here too. And I'm gonna probably get some tea. She's gonna get a coffee. And Sophie and I are waiting out here, and then we'll enjoy some of these nice pastries. All right, so we had to move from the cafe. It was just too noisy on the street. I tried to actually shoot in a video. I might include the clip just so you can see. It was so noisy, couldn't even hear myself think. So it was really close to the street, and there's a lot of heavy trucks and stuff going by. So we moved back to the van where it's nice and quiet and peaceful, which is where we're going to have our bakery items. If we can wait until we're done shooting this video to get into them, because they're so good and they smell so good. But we're going to probably end the video here. We're just going to drive back. Kelly's going to work on the way, and then she's obviously going to work when we get back home too. We got a few other things on this evening. But thanks for joining us for this video, and we'll see you for the next one.
See you then.